Hello everyone, hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Welcome to the first chat here on the Owl main channel. My name is Strompfel and I'll be one of your hosts today. I'm also a coach on Team Slusk, and with us today we do also have the captain of Team Slusk named...
Isaac. How are y'all doing? Team captain of Team Slusk for some reason. I guess Strumpf got tired of it, but yeah. Perfect.
That's a really awkward ringtone in the middle of your own introduction. And then we also do have Captain of the Christmas Kids with us today.
Slacking, the slacking doctor. Good to be here. Power captain. Not sure how, but not complaining.
Yeah, you're all really surprised about who we're picking as captain, apparently. But no, you boys are really good guys. And today we're actually going to talk about snipes that happens during Season 2 of the Owl Draft. Well, Owl Season 2 Draft, that's the correct sentence. And if you want to tab out, do something else, perhaps play some Showdown, perhaps build for your Week 1 opponent, because this is hopefully going to go up before that, you can do so, because there's not really any sort of fancy things going on the screen. You can see our nice 3 pictures, you can see the nice Owl logo, but apart from that, it's not really going to happen anything in particular. But without further ado, let's talk about some snipes. First of all, before we say anything, if you don't know, Owl is a 24-man draft with 11 Pokemon per team, so there's bound to be a bunch of snipes, and me going into the draft especially were so scared, because, you know, there were some horror stories from last season where people got sniped like, I don't know, I think there was like 17 or 18 times was the record. I think Specs King was the one that got up to that high amount of time.
Yeah, I think something
so,
like that.
yeah, there were a bunch of snipes, and people were, well, at least I was really scared that this would happen again, and my main picks would get sniped. But there wasn't as many snipes as I would have thought.
No, I mean, last season I don't really remember it too well, but I know at least 3 people were the ones getting sniped constantly, and as you were saying, I think one guy, I don't really remember who it was, you know, he broke the record. He just, like, basically every other pick he got sniped. Like, and it wasn't just like, yeah, I'm you know, weighing in about, you know, I got 3 Pokemon I want to choose. He basically got, like, hardcore sniped 3 times and basically had to change the course of his team multiple times during, like, what, 5 rounds or something, because people wouldn't leave him alone.
Yeah,
So,
it was incredible.
yeah.
His team was just really messy with a bunch of like unfinished cores and a bunch of like different archetypes who he didn't finish because he just didn't have the things to finish them up, which was really unfortunate for him. But you know, with these like horror stories, we were kind of expecting a bunch of snipes for this season, but at least my experience, I have counted it to 5 total snipes for at least me. What was your magic numbers?
I got 3. I got sniped, like legitly sniped 3 times. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, and I'm not counting, of course, you know, minor snipes. Like, yeah, as I said earlier, I'm weighing between like 3 Pokemon. One of them got picked up. I was genuinely thinking about picking up all of these 3 like on the get-go. So yeah, 3, not too much, not too bad, but still got sniped. What about you, Slaking?
I see, for me it was a little bit different because I'd heard all these horror stories about snipes, so I thought, I'm not going to come in with a draft plan. I'm just going to draft whatever Pokemon I think is best when it gets to me. So I was literally just kind of just doing on impulse, just reacting. The only thing that I really planned to get was Lotic, and then after that it was pretty much just a free draft. So genuine snipes, probably none, to be honest.
Well,
Sounds so nice.
That's super cool, because I think a lot of people went in with that mentality, which is probably why we didn't have as many snipes. I, on the other hand, did not go in with that mentality. I felt like I wanted a solid core from the beginning, and you know, I can start talking about, we can start talking like round to round where people get sniped and stuff like that, so we can do it in chronological order. I can talk about, because I was sniped, like, 2/5 of my snipes were actually in the beginning. I was placed at number 3 in the draft, which means that I was guaranteed one of 3 Pokemon. I was either gonna have Kyurem Black, I was either gonna have Manaphy or Landorus Therian, and it was in that order. Luckily, I did not get like quote-unquote snipe there, because I really wanted Kyurem Black and I actually got it, which is super cool. So when I got Kieran Black, I sat down and just did a bit of thinking and what I wanted to pair with Kieran Black. And I knew I wanted a solid Mega Pokemon straight away. Because, you know, Kieran Black with a solid Mega and a potentially, like, solid, like, round tier 2, or I'm thinking, of course, tiers, because I'm more used to drafting in tiers than points. But getting, like, a highly used Pokemon that everyone knows is scary and have to prepare for a lot would be a super solid core. The thing that I kind of wanted to begin with was Kieran Black paired with Mega Scizor and with Milotic. That was my ideal like start of the draft. I kind of wanted Mega Diancie as well, but I knew there was no way it would get all the way back to me, so I don't consider that a snipe. Because Mega Diancie not getting picked during the entire round 1 and round 2 was a little bit too much for me, so I felt like Mega Diancie is gonna go, but there were some scenarios where I could see Mega Scizor falling all the way down to me, because people probably want to pick up like top tier Megas and then get super good Pokemon while they're still around. So, you know, perhaps Mega Scizor, and then I did not think Milotic would go round 2. I know it's a good Pokemon, but I did not think it would go during round 2. But unfortunately I was super wrong, and both Mega Scizor and Milotic actually went before me, so I had to stick with Mega Gardevoir instead, which is not bad. Mega Gardevoir is a good Pokemon, but not the start that I wanted.
But I mean, yeah, and that's, you know, kind of ironic. You're talking about Mega Diancie and Milotic, and, you know, who drafted it? You know, Slaking himself. So, yeah, it's kind of funny.
Well, the reason was, for me, like, I wanted to try something new. I was thinking about my battle with Nico already in the ABC, so I was already trying to prep for Mega Diancie, and I thought this thing is so powerful. That's why I picked that round 1. But then, if I was going to try new things, I also wanted to have something. Milotic is the thing that I think I'm now most comfortable using. So knowing that you liked it, knowing that Nico also liked it, I was like, I've got to take it round 2 or it will be gone.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I went so early.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I love Milotic as well. I've used it to great success in the past. So not being able to get it again, because, you know, it's sniped from me in the GPC as well. But that was a bit unfortunate. But that was two of my main snipes during the draft. It was really unfortunate, but I did build around it. Now I do have Toxapex instead as my bulky water, which I am more than happy with. I do think Toxapex is a very underrated Pokemon. People think it's too passive, but I want to prove them wrong, especially because I do have Mega Gardevoir who can break through basically every Pokemon behind a substitute. Nobody is switching into that pixelate hyper voice for Mega Gardevoir. So having Toxapex allowing people to get up substitute, that's totally fine by me. But later down the road, I'll guess I'll just run by all my real snipes and we can go into you, Isaac.
Yeah, sure.
So next up on my list, I actually wanted my Sandsetter, because, you know, I did actually get Excadrill round 3. And,
That's a fun story. That's a fun story.
You know, you can be like 5 years old and play draft for about a month and still realize that Excadrill and Sand is a big threat that people are prepared for. So, of course, I was aiming to get a Sandsetter, and it's really cool that, well, it's not really cool, but it is kind of funny that 2 of the main Sandsetters, being Mega Tyranitar and regular Tyranitar, actually went in round 2, and we will talk about my snipe on them later. But right now, I have Excadrill, 2 Sandsetters gone, and then I see that whatchamacallit, the Hippowdon also went. So there's 1 main Sandsetter left in Gigalith. And I'm thinking to myself, it's now round 4, I have Kieran Black, Mega Gardevoir, Excadrill. I'm thinking, why the hell would someone pick up Gigalith this round? There's no reason for it. I have the Sandrush Sweeper. The other 2 Sandrush Sweepers has disappeared. They are all drafted. So there's no reason to pick up Gigalith. It's like a mediocre Pokemon. Isaac, you used it last season in the Owl. It sucked. So
oh yeah, it's horrible. It doesn't do anything. It sets up sands and dies, basically. If you have Sturdy on it, great. You get rocks, but then it dies.
You can't even have Sturdy because you have Sandstream, so it basically does nothing.
Yeah, it doesn't even do that. It does nothing. It just gets up sands and die.
So basically, I didn't think anyone would draft this, so that's why I went with my Toxapex Mandibus core, which oh wow, someone just swallowed the microphone. That's why I went with the Toxapex Mandibus. If you don't know that core, I actually used it in a Smogon base tournament in the Pokécast tournament, which I actually managed to win with this defensive core, so I feel pretty comfortable with using it. But nonetheless, I didn't feel like anyone would draft it. So round 4 and round 5 goes by. No one has picked up Gigalith. I feel fine. Gigalith is mine, no problem. Mid-round 6, no one has picked up Gigalith. It's fine, I'm gonna get this. But the guy before me ends up picking it up. And I was upset. Not as upset as some of the other snipes that I actually experienced, but I was pretty upset. Because originally I thought that this guy actually picked up Gigalith just because he didn't want me to have it. Which actually would have been pretty mean. But then he ended up picking up Landers, so I do see why he did it.
Yeah,
but
and I was actually a part of that conversation, obviously being one of the members. When Fox was talking about picking up Gigalith, we were having this conversation where fitted his team really nicely. And he was like, but with it being Sandforce, better, Gigalith being the only one left, he was like, and then seeing that you were more than likely going to pick it up with Excadrill, I mean, he had to move fast, but before that, because his team he wasn't sure how his team would shape up, he didn't know he wanted Lando. So really, it was an intention pick that round to stop you from getting it, but only for his own plan, not just to stop you. If you
no, I get that totally. But at the time, I just thought that it was just to spite me, but unfortunately it wasn't. But I ended up getting Hippopotas instead, which is not as valuable. Not gonna lie.
Not at all. Not at all.
I mean, if Gigalith is as bad as you guys say, then Hippopotas is basically the same as Gigalith. It will come in, set sand, and then die.
Yeah, basically, but the thing with Gigalith is that it will be able to tank a hit and get up stealth blocks in the Gecko, but Hippopotas, without an Evilite, is not going to tank anything. It's just going to set up sand and die. Because I do want that smooth rock for 8 turns of sand. But, you know, it is cuter than Gigalith, so that's at least something.
Yeah, you get the cuteness score over it, but he doesn't. not really much else. Not really much else.
Well,
it could be a fan favorite.
Cuteness is you're coming a long way with just cuteness. So I'm down with trying out Hippopotas. It might be like my saving grace. I don't know.
Probably
so
not,
now that was my third snipe, being Gigalith. Now I want to actually skip my fourth snipe because that one was the worst, and I want to go into my fifth snipe, which was when I tried to pick up my grass type. And if you didn't know, there's a specific grass type that I did a waiver wire, shoutouts to that series, on the GBA channel last season. I did a waiver wire on my man Gourgeist, or my girl Gourgeist. I don't really have a gender for it, a specific gender for it, but I think Gourgeist is an amazing Pokemon and very underrated. 4 forms, you can have Frisk, which is probably the best ability in draft. You know, you can scout Choice Scarves, Choice Specs, you can scout Life Orbs, Leftovers, and realize, wow, they're probably Substitute, or wow, they are Choice Locked, or wow, they are probably going to be faster than I think. So having that Frisk ability on Gourgeist would be awesome, and I had picked up a lot of Hazard Stack at this point, so having a Ghost type as well would be awesome for spin blocking. But like Gigalith, I actually got sniped from it the pick before me by Toasty Rex. Literally, the pick before I was supposed to pick up Gourgeist, he just comes in, swoops in, and takes away my pumpkin. Which sucked. Sucked a lot.
Like, I'm watching the draft sheet now. Your snipes are hilarious. They're all like one pick before you. Like you got Gigalith with what, round 6 sniped, and then round 9 you get sniped again, the pick before you.
Yeah, so, yeah. It was literally the pick before me twice. So I ended up picking up
Gourgeist is a hugely popular Pokemon. It's not like you expect Gourgeist to be massively in demand, you know. I understand what you're saying, why you rate it so highly, but it's not something that's commonly, you know, thrown around as a great draft league Pokemon. So you wouldn't really be expecting to get sniped just like that.
No. I did not think anyone would pick up Gourgeist. It's not like I've used it in... I've used it online either. I've used it a lot of times when battling like Isac, when we did our little mini draft league, which has a name that I will not repeat in this chat. It's kind of vulgar, but well, it's kind of offensive, let's say that. But Gourgeist, I didn't think anyone would go for it, but Toasty just comes in and swoops in and picks it up, which sucks. So I ended up picking up Chestnut instead, which is a good grass type, but
Yeah,
I
it's not
pretty
bad.
much
It's definitely not bad.
I pretty much repeated Isac's team from Owl Season 1 at this point.
Yeah, because for those of you who don't know, I drafted Mega Gardevoir, Excadrill, Mandibuzz, Chestnut, and Gigalith, but you didn't get Gigalith. But anyway, so yeah, you got 4 months of my last team. So yeah,
More than a third was copied from Isac.
Yeah.
It was not intended, but it just happened to be so.
Yeah, unintentional.
Unintentional, of course. But your team was pretty successful. I think you went like 5-2 with it. Something like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, it's a hell of much fun to use, but now you got Kyurem Black on it, you got Mianshao, again, a very underrated pick, and Toxapex, I haven't really used that a lot, but yeah, you added your own touches to it, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. And speaking of adding touches, this was the worst snipe. This was definitely the worst snipe that I have experienced. And one of the reasons why it was so bad, because I was in call with Luke when he announced it. So I was sitting there chilling with Luke, just playing some, I don't know, like Battle Factory or Roundabouts or something like that. And it was like 2 picks before he would pick this up. And he said, "Yo, Strompfel, by the way, I'm gonna pick up a Pokemon that you like a lot." I was like, what's that? Maybe like Tornadus or Megadianus or something like. No, it's more like an undervalued Pokemon. It starts with an E and ends with 2 Z's. And if you don't know me, you know that I love Electabuzz. Electabuzz is like my go-to Pokemon. I love it. I drafted it so many times. I always realized like mid to late draft when I draft my teams, like, hello, I do not have a electric type. And Electabuzz just fits so many roles. It's faster than base 100. It is way bulkier than people give it credit for. And it actually packs a punch with that base 95 special attack. So it's really, really good. And people never draft it. People like, I have never seen anyone else draft Electabuzz besides me, and I am not overestimating this point. I do not see Electabuzz draft at all, but I've used it like 4 times, and I love this Pokemon, and I wanted to pick it up again. And just the fact that I was in call when he like mocked me and said, I'm gonna pick up Electabuzz, what we're gonna do, it sucked so much, and I think I left. I think I left that call for like a quick second just to prove my point that I was pissed, and then I came back. But yeah, that was definitely the worst snipe that I've experienced. I ended up picking up Raichu, so you know, Raichu's a cool Pokemon. Again, cuteness factor level 100. But it's just not Electabuzz. Electabuzz is such a good Pokemon.
That kind of
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
relate because obviously my draft experience is pretty limited, but on the 1.5 draft leagues I've played in, I had Electabuzz the first time, but that was in a not fully evolved format, so it's not quite the same. And then I had Tapu Koko. So both of my teams were built around fast electric types.
And I mean,
Well, I'll wait till the end.
Oh, sorry, cut out. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I was just like, I'll wait till the end and pick up either Electabuzz or Manectric or Raichu as like my last pick, because I thought no one would pick up all 3 of those. And all 3 went, so I'm now without an electric type because I just didn't feel like any of the others. But that wasn't a major snipe, it was just like, because I actually would have picked up Electabuzz at the end, but I was waiting till the end.
I was actually picking up Electabuzz. If I didn't get... He picked up Electabuzz around round 7 because I was actually thinking of picking up Electabuzz after I picked up Gourgeist. So that was like round 10-ish. I think.
Yeah.
But he picked up Electabuzz super quick because he knew I wanted it. He knew I was definitely going to go for it. He picked up Electabuzz round 8, which is very early for Electabuzz, not gonna lie. I mean, it's a good Pokemon, but I don't think it's worth picking up around 8, but that's another story. So that was actually all my snipes that I experienced, and not that many.
But to put that into perspective, you know, round 8, you picked up Greninja out of all Pokemon. You picked up a damn Greninja, he picks up an Electabuzz round 8. So yeah, it kind of puts it into perspective how much, you know, he sniped. And how much he really didn't want you to get it, so yeah.
Yeah. But that was all the snipes that I've experienced, so let's hear from Isaac, all of his snipes. I don't know how many, you said 3?
All of them. No, yeah. Not a lot at all. Going into the draft, I was kind of... I know you and I talked a lot about this. I just really wanted to get 3 months, I think. I really wanted to get my hands on Mega Gallade and Weavile. Those were the 2 I really wanted to get my hands on, but I hadn't really thought about, you know, the rest that much. So, for those who don't know, I'm 4th to last, so I'm really late into the pick, so I can wheel pick a lot of my picks. And so, you know, the draft goes well for the first 2 turns. I get Weavile and Mega Gallade, which is, you know, fantastic. But then, you know, a lot of Strompfel has at least taught me that, you know, in draft you really want to get a very strong Dragon Fairy Steel core, because, you know, it's good typings, viable, the whole lot. So my eyes this turn, now turn 3, goes towards a good fairy type, and like I haven't really used a lot of fairy types in the past. I've only used basically I've only used Sylveon, I think. So my mind definitely, like, the second I think of a fairy type goes Sylveon. But then, you know, 2 rounds before me, Luke, the one and only who picked up Electabuzz from, picks up Sylveon, which is, yeah, it's not the best because it's a great wall breaker. I got Weavile with Mega Gallade, a special wall breaker like Sylveon would have been amazing. And, you know, it's a great fairy type. But no, it gets picked up, so I'm kind of left in the dark and I have no idea what I'm going to pick up because a lot of fairy types have already gone. I think Clefable, Strompfel, correct me if I'm wrong, and Slaking.
Yeah, Oscar picked up Clefable that round.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'm not really good with defensive fairy types, so I was kind of you know, weighing between a few different ones, but I end up picking up Togekiss. You know, it's an alright fairy type. I've never used it in the draft league before, but I've only used it in the UU ladder, so UU and OU. And yeah, if for those of you who don't know, I really like pissing off my opponents with Choice Scarf, Serene Grace, Air Slash. So look out for that one, everyone.
And you use like the wacky Togekiss set as well. You use like max HP so you don't die. No special attack. You don't do any damage either. You just sit there, flinch your opponent to death. Yes. So I'm kind of hoping not to get killed this season. That's all I'm gonna look for. But apart from that, actually, I got sniped 2 more times. One which was actually not too bad because it's quite a contested pick. And that was actually Zapdos. I'm pretty sure it's Boots. He picked it up, right? Yeah, Boots picked... No, Boots did not pick up Zapdos. Overachiever picked up Zapdos.
All right.
Yeah, round 1.
Round 1, Mega.
Oh, round 1, yeah, because, you know, we were talking about... And that's why it's not that big of a deal, because, you know... a good electric type, you know, it's great to have fast volt switch or whatever you need it for. So yeah, and what I think Overachiever is like,
he's like middle.
7. Yeah, he's in the middle, like 7 picks in front of me. So now, you know, when he picks up Zapdos round 1, it's you know, it's not the best, but I can't. You know, it's not realistic in any universe that Zapdos goes through 3 damn rounds. So no, I wasn't really expecting it too much. But my last snipe was actually incredibly annoying. Like, I've never really been sniped before, so this was my first incredibly, like, gut-wrenching snipe, because I was so hyped. Strompfel knows this. I was so hyped to use this Pokemon. And that was, you know, I was missing a dark type. What, we were in round...
Were you missing a dark
quite
type?
Late. No, sorry, dark type. Just a dark type. I'm very tired. Dragon type, of course. We're in round 7. Alright, so it was round 7. I was going to pick up... I had a fairy type in Togekiss. I had a steel type in my trusty Empoleon. And now I'm going to finish the damn core with a dragon type. It's round 7 and, you know, basically all the good dragon types, you know, they're off the table. But one that's left, and I've never used it, like not even in a ladder format or anything. And that's Tyrantrum. And when Strompfel, I've never even thought much about the Pokemon. And when Strompfel, tells me, yo, why don't you just pick up Tyrantrum? It's great, like wall breaker and everything. And I mean, look at this attack stat. And oh my god, I was so hyped on running like choice banned Tyrantrum. Because what? It has, sorry, wait, how much is it? Its attack is, give me a second.
It's like 130 or something.
Yeah, 121. And if you run that adamant, you get 375 attack. Fucking insane. So I was so hyped on using this, like for the first time. I've never used it before. But of course, the pick is like 10 picks in front of me. Picks up Tyrantrum. And to be more specific, wait, who picked it up?
Yeah, it's Kenneth that picked it up. And I do remember I do remember your reaction when I announced, I like presented Tyrantrum for you. We were sitting on a bus on our way home.
Yeah.
And I said to you, why don't you pick up Tyrantrum? It's like a decent dragon. And it's like, well, Tyrantrum's not really that good. It's like, yeah, it learned Head Smash. And I got Isac's attention because, you like those high-powered moves.
Yeah, high risk, high reward. I like those moves. And what? It gets rock head as well.
Yeah, it gets rock head, so you don't even take any recoil.
Yeah. Yes, we were talking about choice scarfing this bitch and everything. I was so hyped. And then Kenneth, the same round, what? After the boss, it must have been like after 2 hours or something.
Yeah.
He picks the damn Pokemon. And I'm like, great. Now I'm like, I've hyped myself up for nothing. So I end up picking up Zygarde 10%. Not a bad Pokemon, but oh my god, Tyrantrum would have been nice. So yeah, that was like the worst snipe I've experienced, just because it's kind of like Strompfel's Electabuzz. It's not that, attractive to many. And especially not that, it's not even that late into the draft, it's round 7, so the same round, to put it into perspective again, Dr.Slaking, you picked up Celebi round 7, I mean, a great Pokemon. Kyurem got picked up, you got Landorus Incarnate picked up, Salazzle, Gardevoir, you had a lot of good Pokemon picked up round 7, and, no one really cares for Tyrantrum, or so I thought, so yeah, it was, not the best. But yeah, those were...
You look at Kenneth's draft, he always drafts things that are just like, I don't know, I love watching Kenneth draft, because when they come together, there's like, this time is the most threatening I've ever seen his draft, like, threats, but at the same time, he always picks up, like, Butterfree at the end and stuff, random things that you just usually would go undrafted completely.
Yeah, Kenneth is a weird snowflake when it comes to like drafting a team. He has his own specific way of playing Pokemon, which is not really like super common. With like he likes to use stuff like Dragon Dance, Lapras, and he likes to use Curse. If he has a Snorlax, it will be Curse every single week. Snorlax is actually one of his Z captains, which is weird to me, but that will be a story for another day.
You can use the Pancake Z move.
Oh yeah, you can use the Pancake Z move. That's correct, actually.
Because a little bit of backstory. When did you first encounter Kenneth? Was it in the PCBL, or where was it? Because I remember you told me about him, and the fact that he drafts Volt picks in a draft format.
Yep, every draft.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that guy. First off, huge respect to him, but seriously, what the hell? And now, round 1, he picks up Megalopunny, round 2, Metagross, and round 3, Umbreon, and round 4, Primarine. I mean, that's a really, really threatening team. So I was like, is he really that, maybe he's not that, he's not trolling that hard. But then when you get to the end of his draft, you get Vulpix and a damn Butterfree, so...
Yeah, I think he kind of like adapted to a team-based league where I don't think he can just meme with his Vulpix every single week, because his team wants him to win, so he will try a little bit harder. Which is why he picked up like super duper threatening Pokemon in Megalopunny.
But, you know, still, huge respect to the guy. Funny draft.
There was actually a few other snipes that occurred during the draft, which I think we can run over quickly. We have talked for a while, but you know, there are a few key snipes that happens during the draft, and not for us, but for other coaches. The first one we can actually talk about Oscar's little Suicune Uxie core, which probably is not a core for many people because they do actually not resist another like super effective move on the other side's part. They actually do not resist a single one. But Oscar loves the core. He used it in a league called the GPC, run by one of our captains called Luke. You probably know him. You definitely know him at this point. He used Suicune Uxie, and I think he brought it every single week with the exact same goddamn set every single time. He brought Protect, Roar, Scald, and Coverage move on Suicune, and then he brought Stealth Rocks, Yawn, U-Turn, Psychic Uxie. Every single time.
Now, yeah, I mean, it's... I remember I was telling you about it because I think you're the one who put the Yawn Uxie set into his head at the from the start.
Yeah,
right?
that was literally week 1. We were trying to prevent a Charizard sweep.
And you and you tell him like, Yawn, use Yawn like U-turn or something. And then, it must have really clicked with him because he didn't change his set for once. So...
And don't get me wrong, it was efficient, because Oscar made it all the way to semi-finals with this damn core. He was so successful with it, and I know he wanted to draft it again. But unfortunately, he actually got sniped from Suicune round 3 by Probopass. If he wasn't, then he actually would have gotten Suicune that round and probably Uxie in the round after. Which probably meant that we would have some problems team building with him, Isac, because he will just bring the same goddamn thing every time. There's no real thing that can stop Oscar from just doing that.
Well, he got Clefable, which is another one of his favorite fat mons, so it's fine. Yeah,
Clefable really is like an Oscar Pokemon. Again, referring to the league that me, Isaac, and Oscar did back in the days. We were just hanging out in like the lunch cafeteria and we're just playing Pokemon. And Oscar had this famous Clefable set, which was actually a set that I will not reveal when I think about it. You can just know it's a wacky set, but I will not reveal it because maybe Oscar actually wants to use it one week. So let's not reveal the set when I think about it.
Don't spoil too much.
Yeah.
Were there any other snipes?
Yes, there was actually 2 more snipes that I wanted to go through. Me picking up Excadrill. That was a pretty funny one.
Yeah.
Because if you take a look at round 2, by the way, if you want to see any things that we are talking about, there will be a link to the document down in the description, or you can find it on the Discord. But round 2, Mega Tyranitar and regular Tyranitar gets picked up. And why is this funny? Well, Eevee Master always loves to use sand, and Fadaki picking up Mega Tyranitar will use a Sand Rush sweeper later on. And both of them thinks that they can draft Excadrill the round after. Little does he know, I actually managed to snipe Excadrill before them, which was a lot of fun, and here's why. Because both of them actually picked up Pokemon that you did not think would be picked up in round 3 because they were so desperate about Sand Rush sweepers. We can see Fadaki picking up Stoutland round 3 and Eevee Master picking up Lycanroc Day round 3, which I found hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, he really, because he was so desperate to find his Sand Sweeper, wasn't he? So he was like, alright, what's left on the table? Lycanroc Day, sold, I'll get it.
Yeah, Stoutland is usually not something you see go round 3. Which so funny that you see people draft it just because I sniped him off Excadrill. Which was one of the more hilarious snipes that I did to other people in the draft. Now, last snipe that I want to mention was probably the snipe that affected the team the most. And this was a snipe that has made on Dr. Piplup, which was just brilliant. And I love Has. And we're talking about Hasy Potter right now, the cool Has on Team School. He actually sniped Dr. Piplup from Goodra. And that's huge. Because Dr. Piplup has like a pseudo, well, not even pseudo, it's like a hyper rain team at this point. And, you know, having Gudra in rain with that hydration rest combination, just unlimited recovery, couple that with a Ferrothorn for the Wool Core is just pretty much unbeatable. It's not breakable, you're not going to break the core. So, him not being able to get Gudra is huge. That's so huge, and I'm so glad that he doesn't have it, because I think I'm the one who's supposed to face him, so I don't have to deal with it, which is unbelievably good.
But yeah, I mean, those were really like the big snipes from like the other players. I'm pretty sure there weren't really too many others, if I'm not mistaken.
No, there were a lot of people wanted stuff like Miltank and Vaporeon, and what was the other guys? I think a lot of people wanted Manaphy as well in the beginning, but I don't. Yeah. I think every team got a way to like reconstruct. But the thing was, good. He did not. He ended up picking up Sliggoo just because he wanted that thing. No, he did not pick up Sliggoo. Who picked up Sliggoo?
Wait, was someone?
No, actually, he did not pick up Sliggoo. But I thought he picked up Sliggoo. We actually picked up Mega Swampert last pick. But that was just so huge, because I don't even think he drafted Kingdra as a dragon, but he didn't get that defensive dragon which he probably wanted, which would have been so awesome.
But yeah, Slaking, what about you? Did you have any like snipes in general, or were they like mostly, because you were telling us earlier about the fact that you didn't really expect any picks. Did you have any picks that you actually you know thought about but then got away, or were you like 100% I have no idea what I'm going to pick up? Oh, it's my turn, cool, I can just pick up something expensive.
We reached the middle of the draft. Obviously I had got a team shaping up, and we then decided to make sure that we had picks left with our teammates. So obviously at that point I had to leave some kind of a plan. And it's funny you ask, actually, because most of my later snipes, or the two main ones, are actually from you. So you mentioned me getting Celebi later on. I actually wanted Shaman, but I did...
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't mind. You got Shaman about 7 picks before me, so I mean it was a good distance. Maybe about 10 picks actually.
Yeah, not even that. Dr.Slaking. Well, it depends. Well, were you gonna... No. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong way. My bad.
It's a little bit more with the wheel there, but yeah. So it was just like, okay, because just maybe a week or two before the hour draft, I'd been 6-0'd by Luke with the team with the Shaman in it. So I was like, okay, I don't want to face it again. Just let me have it. And then I was like, okay, well, Celebi's kind of similar. You know, it's similar base stats, obviously, and then everything else. So I was like, okay, I'll go Celebi. But then the more agonizing one, and it's partly because of my own mistake afterwards, was I wanted something to hit ghost types with and a fire type. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go Chandelure. 3 picks before me. And I panicked and picked up Houndoom because ghost types. But then I realized afterwards, because my teammates have been telling me, don't go Houndoom, go Volcanion, you can pick up another dark type. Picked up Houndoom. Literally like a day after the draft, I was messaging the one guy trying to trade for Volcanion. So I think that snipe hurt so much because I messed up my reaction to it and ended up missing out on a Pokemon I really wanted. But that was it really for me. They were the only 2 picks where, and like I say, Celebi wasn't a major one. It was more just the Chandelure. I wasn't expecting anyone to pick it up, so it kind of caught me off guard. Shaman to have still been around so late would have surprised me.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. Shaman was a good pick. I do think you got a pretty good one, because, you know, you free agent a Darmanitan, which is very solid. Darmanitan is a solid Pokemon. You do have that... The Swampert pick was a bit weird to me, but, you know...
Well, somehow, and I don't know how, I got it into my head that Swampert 4 times resists Steel, which it just doesn't. So that one might get free agented away at some point.
But I think those were all the snipes that I want to discuss. I do not know if you have any from your teammates that you maybe want to bring up or something like that, but...
No, I think that was mostly it, to be honest. I know that Fox had a couple of minor snipes, and obviously you spoke about the extra drill for Eevee Master, but I think actually he was pretty happy with Lycanroc Day. I think it was part of his plan regardless, so he was pretty cool with everything.
So it sounds good, but that will actually wrap up the first owl chat that we had on the channel, which is pretty funny. I want to thank you boys for coming out and talking with me. It was a lot of fun. Just to summarize, there were some key snipes in the draft, but none too heavy. Gigalith was a bit harsh, but other than that, I do think every team actually managed to, every person managed to draft a pretty good team in general, which I am happy to see as the commissioner. I think there will be a really fun season ahead of us, especially because we do have a lot of cool guys now, and hopefully you can carry it all the way through this time, and maybe even go to the finals, who knows. But yeah, do you have anything else to add, Slaking, before we wrap this up?
Oh, just thank you for having me on here. It's been a lot of fun talking with you guys, and I've really enjoyed it, to be honest.
Yeah, you have to join us some other time. But remember, if you do want to do one of these yourself, you just record your audio. You can just either send it to me and I can edit, or I'll just send you a version of this sick little logo. And Isaac seems to be back. Did you go and
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. Oh no! Oh, wow. Yeah. No, actually, a few. We've got some electrical work being done in my room, so I just had to get out of the house, really. So, apologies if the microphone quality is shit, but
That's totally
shit
fine.
happens.
Well, I was just wrapping this up, but I'll just bring it back again. So if you want to do these like old chats with your mates or something like that, or about something owl related, you can just record them, send just ask me or Isaac, and we can just hook you up with this nice little layout that Isaac shout us to you, and you can send the video to me and I'll upload it. It's not even that hard to do. It's just a lot of fun, just sitting here talking to your friends about Pokemon, because who doesn't have the time for that? Am I right, boys?
Of course.
Yeah, that's gonna be it. Thank you so much for coming out. We will see you all next time. Goodbye.
See ya.